Facebook is not doing it. Let me just check with the team. We'll probably just run with YouTube, man, and repurpose later.
All right, sounds good.
Let me see if there's something going on in... If the title is too long. Just getting one final read from the team if we're going to wait for Facebook or if we're going to continue on YouTube. If you guys are watching, Dennis and I here just chilling. We're just taking up dead air time on YouTube for a minute. So we will see. Oh, Facebook. So I'm just waiting on the team, Dennis, to decide if we're going to just switch over to YouTube, man. Are you good on time?
I'm good. Yeah, no worries at all.
I think they want us to move over to maybe restream and see if we can get that to work. Because I think they've promoted the events onto. They're asking me to wait to go live on Facebook.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna if Restream is going to do if StreamYard is gonna do it. Let me I mean I don't this seems like a platform problem. I'm just watching it spin and then it says it fails.
Yeah.
You're
the live streaming pro.
Dude, I just click the buttons.
I just do Zooms and stuff like that. I'm just texting.
Yeah.
I'm the engineer on the other stuff.
They said Facebook is having issues. It's not working from anywhere.
Oh. And you just did one, right?
I just got off. Yeah, and I mean I'm trying to load up facebook.com. And it's spinning, man. Oh, it's not working from anywhere. Go live. It just pulled up for me finally. All right, Dennis, we'll do some fireside chat here for YouTube and Twitter because we are live on there, and StreamYard doesn't give me the option to not be live on there, but we don't want to start the official talk. So the question is, where do we even start, man? And I'll just keep monitoring this Facebook Live thing until we can officially go live. So what's on your work stack right now? Oh, you know what? I think we're in business, dude.
All right.
All right. What is up, Cloudways fans? We've just been dealing with a Facebook outage, and we're ready to drop some knowledge on everybody over the next hour or so. We got Dennis Yu today with us, and hopefully Facebook isn't completely down. Hopefully we're streaming. And we're going to be talking today about content strategy to build trust and get high conversions during the sales season. In just a moment, I'm going to introduce our most amazing guest here. But if you're hanging out with us today, you're doing so as part of the 2021 Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Cloudways Prepathon. This is about getting you and your business and your clients' businesses ready to have an absolutely magical Cyber Monday and Black Friday promotion season, all that good stuff. So this session is all about content strategy to build trust and get high conversions. And we've got the amazing Dennis Yu hanging out with us today. And if you don't yet know who Dennis Yu is, he is a man on a mission to create 1 million jobs, which is a fantastic, big, hairy, audacious goal. He is the CEO of Blitz Metrics, a digital marketing company which partners with schools to train young adults. They offer courses, implementation, consulting. He's spoken over 730 times to audiences like us. So maybe we're at 731 today, Dennis. So good to have you here, man. He's been featured in the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, LA Times, National Public Radio, TechCrunch, Fox News, CNN, CBS, Facebook Nation. He co-authored the book Facebook Nation, which is a textbook taught in over 700 schools. Dude, I am ready to learn. I am ready to learn. That's all I want to say. So the man, the legend, the branding and digital marketing and traffic superhero, the Dennis Yu is with us today, man. Welcome to the program.
Welcome, Brett. And you know, the thing that's shifted in the last few months is that all products have become services and all services have become products. So when we look at Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the folks who are selling like ashwagandha supplements, they're selling products, but they're actually selling stories from their customers. and selling transformation, which is a key word that you guys want to think about in your content strategy that we're going to cover, of what's happened with people's health to be able to go from here to here, to deal with the issues they have to get to here. We have people that are agency providers or they're info marketers, and they've got a Black Friday, Cyber Monday special, because everyone does, right? And if you don't have one, just take your most popular product and sell that one. And they're starting to market like products, because if you're selling info products or selling retainers, or if you're an agency and you're selling Facebook ads, then you have to package up what you have to be able to say, this is what you get. This is how the onboarding process works. This is what happens in month 1 and month 2 and so forth. So there's a whole process fulfillment that's just like what you have for a product that's shipping out of a factory. So anyone who's a service provider is selling like they have a product, and anyone who has a product is selling like they have a service. So when it comes to having a special or a deal on Black Friday, we all end up doing the same thing, because we are selling through stories. And the most effective stories that we see selling right now are those that you are featuring your customers, and it doesn't look like advertising. So everything that we see is about non-advertising. It's about 15-second vertical videos and stories, not testimonials. And I'm going to show you what we've seen to be working and show you examples and a framework of how you're going to get that done. So I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, let's see it,
Mr.
man.
Brent,
I'm pumped for this, because
you and I, let's make this an interactive conversation. Okay.
Yeah, and I am ready to learn, man, and I love just even hearing what you say, because so many agency owners out there for my space, right, are trying to take their services and turn them into products, and then all the product people are like, no, we want to have service, right? So what I'm hearing from you is best of both worlds today.
We're all SaaSes, because it's about the lifetime value. It's in the higher the lifetime value, the more you can afford to invest in acquisition and this kind of thing. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys this document that you can read later, and all this training that's going to cover how to do the particular steps that we're talking about. And this is what we call the content factory. So you can imagine, like, what happens inside the content factory, Mr. Brent? What do you think if you hear content factory? What do you think that means? What happens in the content factory? Who's working in the content factory?
I feel like you're going to help me produce a lot of content. Just that name factory, but I want the details, man.
Okay. So in the content factory, you are collecting and producing the content. So if you're the owner of the store, the owner of the agency, or you're a small business, then you want to amplify what's already working, meaning the positive mentions when your customers are experiencing results, when your clients are saying good things about you. You want to run it into the factory, put it into the factory, and allow the factory to process that. So it's not that you're creating new materials. It's not that you're coming up with a new slogan. It's not that you're hiring an influencer to do some random thing for you, like give a fake testimonial. You're having the ultimate word of mouth engine work for you. And that's what I want you guys to understand today. So when you say thank you to your clients, when you get on Zoom with them for 5 minutes and ask them how they're doing, if you're an agency and you have a weekly check-in call, or you have a new customer onboarding, any of these are opportunities to collect content. And so the content, that this inbound, collection of raw materials is what you need to be able to power all of your content marketing efforts. So if you're feeling kind of overwhelmed on, my goodness, I don't know how to keep producing content. We had a client yesterday reach out to me. He's the CEO of one of the world's largest equipment manufacturers. And he said, man, I can't keep up with producing content every week and keeping up my podcast and whatnot. And this is a well-known brand. If you go into a gym, you're probably going to see Escape Fitness equipment, right? If you're in Europe, you definitely are going to see Escape Fitness. But the CEO can't keep up with all this. And I said to him yesterday, Matthew, you don't have to, because your engine, your factory will continue to repurpose content for you. And I want you guys to all understand this. This is not just for e-com. This is for anybody selling anything, because all products and services are the same. Okay, so you can see that I'm in Tucson, Arizona right now. And this friend of mine, he's a car dealer. He owns 5 car dealerships and like 15 other businesses. This is Tony Watley. We're driving race cars around and speaking. And there's other people. Here's Mark Schaefer. You guys know who he is. And I'm constantly collecting these sorts of moments. Let me ask you this. What do you think converts better? Driving around with the #1 real estate agent in West LA, David Solomon, where he's giving, saying, hey, there's this property, there's that property, here's what's going on in the market. Oh, the founder of Snapchat bought a house from me. Oh, just bought 3 houses from me. And using this to promote him, or a highly polished flyover drone video that looks like a commercial. What do you think drives more sales, drives more contact? It's the authentic
I'm going to go with
content.
the authentic content. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the authentic content. And look at how shaky and how unprofessional and how imperfect a lot of this content is. So I traveled with a professional videographer who has all of the fancy gear and has shot like real cinematic kind of stuff. And then there's Dennis with an iPhone. And I'm telling you, Dennis with an iPhone, you with an iPhone wins almost every single time. And you can see I become like this Asian paparazzi where here we're racing cars, right? A week ago, we're racing, I don't know what these things are. This is a McLaren. This is a Porsche GT3. Are you a car guy? So there's all these different kinds of cars. And I'm literally just doing little videos to capture people's attention. It's as simple as this. If the Wi-Fi will work, you'll see me motion, say, hey, come over here. I got a secret for you, right? Secret is you got to make 1-minute videos. Or I want to tell you about 3 ways that you can improve your gut health. Or I can, what is it? What is the benefit what is the transformation that you are selling? And you use something like a hook, the sports car, you walk out of the sports car and you tell them something about that. So what I'm showing you is we're practicing what we preach. This is not something that I heard from someone else. This is something that thousands of other entrepreneurs are applying in practice, and they're able to see how this is transforming their ability to drive sales. Here's some of my favorite ones. This is a walk and talk with a cell phone, right? So let's say you're with a customer or a partner or an employee. You're walking and talking about where your business is. You're showing behind the scenes, and then you're packaging that and sending them to whatever your lead magnet is or whatever your offer is. Now, for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you have to have some kind of deal. But what people don't realize is you can reuse all your existing content, anything you've ever made, and use that in the promotions. So here's a place I love going. If you guys follow me on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, you'll see that on the weekends, I like to go to Las Vegas and take these oxygen baths. So this is called Cocoon. It looks like Cocoon, but it's these oxygen baths. You sit in these baths for 50 minutes and it rejuvenates you, right? And I've got all sorts of pictures and videos with people that are well known. So this is Bryant Garvin. He and I spent $100 million on Facebook ads for Purple, which is the mattress company. And here I'm interviewing him, interviewing him about his health. Let's see if I can get this to play. Hopefully the hotel Wi-Fi will work here.
You would not believe who we just ran into here at Cocoon. Branson, a friend of mine, a long time in the world of digital marketing. He's a legend. Follow him.
We'll see about that.
But even legends are human. So Bryant, why are you here at Cocoon?
Basically here because Dennis actually introduced me to Cocoon, and it literally changed my life. So I'm going to turn around here. You guys can see a scar here. I've had multiple brain surgeries, have something called pseudotumor cerebri.
And a whole situation about how his life was complete garbage for the last few years until he was able to get his health back, and how important your health is, right? So here we have this story. This is not a story that we recorded for Black Friday. This was just a few weeks ago, right? Here it is, Las Vegas. This is my Google Photos. Everything I have is uploading to Google Photos. And let's say that, I'll go to Cocoon, and I'll do this. I'll go to Facebook here. Just proof to show you. We have a Black Friday special. You can get 3 baths for the price. Oh, look, this spa is trying to advertise against our stuff. You can get 3 baths for basically half off, right? If you buy a package, And what we do is we reuse the stories of our happy customers and whatnot, and then we drive them here. See, look, here's a sale. You can get 3 of them for 165, right? And here's how it is. And we can run ads against this. So look, here's another one, right? Cocoon water with light therapy. That's pretty cool. And I can boost these posts. So when I have things that are things that I can use from over the last couple of years, I've already got my content for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I just need to take existing content I have and then drive to the landing pages I have, drive to the offer I have, drive to whatever it is I have. And thus 90% of my work's already done for me because I've already got the top and the middle of the funnel. But this requires that, see, I can take any of these and I can redirect it to another place. Now, what I've done is I've collected this in my Google Photos. And I'm doing this for me to demonstrate for you guys, but you guys could do it as well. And so, Brent, you're helping 10,000 agencies double, right? Kind of like with Digital Marketer and Josh Nelson and me and like all of us, we want to help other agencies grow because we want to create jobs, right? And so if you're an agency, for example, and this works for everybody, I'll go through tons of different examples so you can see. If you're an agency and you're struggling generating leads, then you've got to show that you have authority and show you have expertise. So I'm with the founder, Kyle, of Customer Hub, who's part of Infusionsoft. They sold to Infusionsoft and then they bought it back. Talking about how do you put your authority out there? How do you teach? How do you build a course? So we're filming lots of these different snippets you can see on here's what you do to choose a topic, or here's how much you charge for a course or whatever it might be. And we're doing it in these interesting environments, right? In this case, an aircraft boneyard. So look at these components. Now, it could be kind of this behind the scenes thing where it's a shaky cell phone camera or cell phone picture versus real professional camera stuff. You can see we've got both. We brought all this fancy gear. We brought a professional videographer. You can see here, we have all this stuff here. But Brent, let me ask you, what do you think performed better in our promotions, showing professionally produced things that look like they're in a TV commercial versus stuff off of Dennis's cell phone?
I mean, my ego when I'm trying to make something wants to say the polished and cool and the clean, but I think the reality is I know the answer's got to be your cell phone, right? It's the natural looking, the stuff that just appears like everybody else's content on Facebook. It kind of blends in with everything else so people pay attention to it.
Yeah. My buddy Kevin Lee is a professional videographer. He's been doing it for years. He's got $100,000 of equipment. He's got the red cameras. He's got the Sling Studio. He's got all the stuff to film production quality, the things that the big brands pay for. And in the last 3 years, I've gotten Kevin Lee to switch to using the iPhone. Now, this is a professional videographer. I've got him using an iPhone with a Rode wireless go-to. Now, even I've got all this fancy equipment, right? And you'll see other top-end YouTubers. You'll see other folks, people who are pros and actually driving sales and community, not people producing films, but people who actually are driving sales, because that's what we're talking about. You'll see that in the last few months, they're saying that they're switching to using their cell phone and a simple lav mic instead of all this fancy equipment that you have to check like 5 different bags when you go to the airline and all that kind of stuff. Because crappy content works and because video works better than these still sorts of images, especially these vertical videos. See, like here, this is behind the scenes of an interview, right? These moments, we chop them up into 15 to 30-second videos, and we put them on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and whatnot, and they are what drive sales. So I'm going to show you an example here. I'm going to stop sharing here.
And Dennis, I'd love to even just, because you said, this crappy content, right, from a production quality, but one thing I do notice is you're out on the road, man. You're meeting with cool people. You're driving fast cars. You're doing video shoots, photo shoots. Like, the production quality is not there, but the story value obviously is. You're doing cool stuff, and you're giving people a behind-the-scenes take on it, and that is what I feel like even just seeing you scroll through, I'm like, I want to click on that one, right? Because you're doing cool stuff, right? There's a story there, and that's kind of what I'm pulling as the main takeaway, at least so far, is like, what are those stories that we have with our customers, and how can we start to bring those out faster and in smaller chunks?
Yeah. So it's this easy. So for those of you guys who are going to give me the excuse about how you're too busy and you don't have time, it's too expensive and all that, I'm going to literally create a campaign for you on the spot. Okay, you ready? I got my iPhone. See? And now the hard part is you see this red button? This is a scary, evil thing, right? People are not willing to press this red button. But if you are, then you might do something like this. You would say, hey guys, Dennis Yu here, and I'd love to see you guys grow your agency. In fact, my buddy Brent Weaver is here as well, and we're teaching you guys. I've put together everything. Hey, say hi, Brent.
What's up, guys? You are.
I want to help you grow by sharing all the recipes that I have. I have something that we call the master presentation and this content factory, and I'm going to show you step by step how to do this and in everything that I know how to do, because I want to see you grow, and I believe you should only learn from people who have done something. So for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, our guide, which is normally $1,500, is $1,000, but you've got to use the word Brent. So if you use the word Brent, you're going to get $500 off that. Can't wait to see you guys grow your businesses through content using the content factory. So there, I've made a video right now, right? Here it is. I'm taking this video, and what am I going to do? I'm going to repurpose it. So you've never seen anybody do this kind of thing before, right? Because they talk about it instead of actually doing it. Here, I'm on my iPhone, and just to prove it, to prove that I'm not cheating, and to prove that this is something that we made just now, I'm going to Twitter. And by the way, I can show you how to do this across all the other channels, but I'm going to go to Twitter first. Oh, hang on a minute. I got to click on the share here. Can you see my screen yet? No, not yet. Hang on.
Not yet.
All right, here we go. So I'm going to go here to Twitter. And by the way, any of you guys, no matter what you're selling, what I'm showing you will work. It is. I just chose an example off the top. I could literally choose a product and start selling it right now. So you can see on my profile, on my Twitter, I have, whatever, a bunch of followers, blue check mark, doesn't matter. People think it does. I have my pinned tweet, and I have various tweets that I'm making, right? And a quote from my buddy who runs OmniConvert, definitely pretty awesome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tweet. And I can do the same thing on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all that, but just for purposes of time, I'm going to post it on this one channel. And okay, there we go. And I'm going to say, go ahead. Sounds like you're about to say something.
No, you're getting some love from our comments here. Jan Koch just said that you're you're a beast, and that it's great to see you here.
Yeah, Jan he's also a big Cloudways advocate, but he runs this virtual summit mastery by sharing all our recipes with you. Check out our Black Friday. I'm not even going to capitalize it. Special. I love it's okay.
Yeah, and just the guerrilla nature of this, the quick and dirty, get some reps out there. And I think what I'm taking from watching your process, Dennis, is you're putting thought into it, but you're also not thinking too hard about whether this is going to work, whether it's going to convert. Like you're in a place, you're creating a story with me, right? We're doing a presentation for Cloudways, and you're using that as content and even offers. You're putting an offer out there for your program, and there's not a whole lot of friction between like idea and story, and then actually putting something out there.
So I just made a story now. Did I edit it? Did I run it through a videographer? No, I literally just posted it raw as a tweet. So this is going to show up here on Twitter in just a second, because it's uploading a 50-second video. I know I should have done it in like 15 seconds or whatever, but whatever. I can make another one, right? I can make 5 or 6 of them. Okay, now watch me make an ad. And I can make an ad just as easily on any other network. I just want to do one just to show you. because every single ad system, for those of you guys that run ads, you guys know they're the same thing, okay? You have the account structure to the campaign, to the ad set, to the ad, your bidding to the objective, manual bid to whatever your cost per conversion is. There's objective optimization where you're, going for leads or sales or whatnot. It's the same thing. Okay, so we're going to make an ad here. If Twitter will load. Oh, here we go. So you see here, I'm going to create a campaign. And this is so easy. This is so ridiculously easy. There's no reason not to do it. I do these things live just to demonstrate there's no friction. And Jan and I have done this a ton of times. So in this case, I can choose engagement or website clicks. If I'm more sale oriented, I'm going to choose website clicks. If I'm okay with not as many clicks, but more social proof, because I want to build I want to build more brand over time, I can choose engagement. This will still drive sales, but just not quite as good because the algorithm's going to go for what your objective is. And this is the same thing on Facebook and TikTok and Snapchat. And we've been working with the TikTok team to get this kind of thing done as well, just to teach people that they, like TikTok, for example, literally copied Facebook's ad system because they want people to move their advertising from Facebook to TikTok. What a surprise. They love that Facebook's had all these challenges recently because more people are advertising on TikTok. And they're following me because I'm showing, hey, you've been running Facebook ads, you know who I am. Let me show you how to do the same thing on TikTok. So here this is on Twitter. And it's running a little bit slow here, but I'm going to call this thing Brent. And I could call it Cloud.
Dennis, you're making my name famous today. I have to say, I'm blushing a little bit. I'm going to be part of an offer. People are going to use coupon code Brent. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Yeah,
and I'll make the coupon code Infusionsoft real quick too. That way it doesn't cause a problem. So the key with most advertising is you're starting with $1 a day. You could certainly do 10 or 15 or whatever it might be, but I like to test lots of pieces of content at $1 a day. And let's just say we are going for 6 days because Black Friday, Black Friday is in a week from now. We're going to go for 7 days. I like to do $1 a day for 7 days. And there's that. Okay. Now we're going to the ad group level. And that's where you're setting your.
So real quick on this, Dennis. So $1 a day to me doesn't seem like a whole lot. I mean, obviously you're testing and you're doing a lot of tests at one time, but is that enough to get you some insights on this?
Yeah, it is. Surprisingly, it is. If you do it the way I'm showing you right now. Now, notice that they're trying to force me to auto bid, or if you try to boost a post there or promote a tweet, they're just going to waste your money. They're trying to make me pay $1.05. I'm not going to pay $1.05. I'm going to pay 20 cents. And in B2B, maybe it's a little bit higher than that. And if you have a really cool product, maybe it's 10 cents or 5 cents. But generally 20 cents works pretty well. And here's the key. This is the thing that people don't get about advertising on every single social network. The targeting, we're going to let the system determine it. So in this case, my favorite, you can see all these different targets that are here. My favorite target here is a follower lookalike. So I'm going after, I should have had a little bit more video from you, but I'm going to go after you. There you are, right? Brent Weaver. Why is this loading so slow? So I'm going to target fans of Brent Weaver. Oh, look, there it is. Leave the world a better place. Okay, that's you, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's me. I'm not huge on Twitter, man. So we'll see who those followers are from. But yeah,
okay.
Let's get after it.
That's 4,700 people I can target. But now I'm going to ask Twitter, okay, if I'm targeting Brent, who are the other related sort of entities? Well, of course, you run UGurus, so I'm going to target UGurus, right? Cool. So I selected that. And who are some of these other people? Are these people kind of in your circle of, if they like Brent, they also like Duncan Carter? Or
some of these people I think are people that I followed many years ago, just in terms of thinking about it. But I mean, there are some brands in here that are recognizable.
So if you are starting with a small seed, so this is not a big seed, but it's still the seed. You want to strengthen that. And so it's the same thing where if you're uploading a custom audience to Facebook and it's kind of small, it's like a crappy photocopy of something, right? So now I'm going to go after digital marketer, because anyone in digital marketer is probably going to know who I am. And they also know something about growing agencies and why it's important to be able to have recipes and checklists to be able to grow your stuff. So now I'm going to add in digital marketer. Why is digital marketer not in here? That's not digital marketer. Oh, by the way, targeting people is usually better than targeting brands. So I'm going to go after Ryan Dice.
Ryan Dice, yeah, let's throw him in there.
Okay, and then I can show videos of, Ryan Dice and me and stuff like that. Okay, much bigger audience. Okay, and so now by adding Ryan in here, it's going to change the set of recommendations that it's giving me. Well, it's going to take a little bit. Okay, here it goes, right? So now it's bringing in other people that are, here's digital marketer, MKTR, that's why. Okay, so I can go through and continue to add these different things. Now, here's the thing. The way that we're using the engine to do the work for us and all the targeting, I'm not having to do all this crazy micro targeting. I'll do SEMrush because I'm on the customer board. Is that it's, so when you go to Amazon and you buy something. So yesterday I bought another Apple charger because I keep losing these things in hotels. You ever do that? Or on airplanes? And it said people who bought the Apple charger also bought the new AirPods, or also bought a MacBook Pro, or also bought an iPad. So, or if you go to your iTunes, people who listen to this song, they also like to listen to that song, right? It's the same algorithm that powers all the advertising here. So what we're doing on Twitter, where they're making recommendations, or if I'm going to Facebook and why is this loading so slow? I'm going to Facebook and I'm going through the news feed and it's showing me things based on it's showing only 1% of the stuff that it could possibly show me. So it's called a collaborative filter. Same thing behind lookalike audiences. And it is what we are leveraging to do the work for us. So I've chosen this tweet I just made. I've said I want to boost it for $1 a day for 7 days. I'm giving it some clues on who I want to hit. So here's the campaign, right? A manual bid at 20 cents. I didn't allow it to auto bid. I didn't worry about gender or interest targeting or any sort of complex series of campaign structures. I could choose a bunch of tweets from that list of tweets that I made. I could choose tweets that I made from years ago here. I could choose tweets that I had promoting last year's Cyber Monday, Black Friday offer, provided that, it's still relevant or the landing page still works. And now I've launched a campaign. So I've gone from content creation to creating the ad campaign to having it live here in a matter of just a couple minutes, right? That's how easy it is to be able to do any kind of promotion. I did it on Twitter as an example, but use whatever you can. Reddit if you want, Yelp, I don't care. It's all the same thing. Now let's take a look at the performance of the thing that we just made. The ad is going to take, who knows, right? Maybe a couple hours for Twitter to approve it. Sometimes a few minutes, sometimes a day or two if you have a new account. But let's see how this particular piece of content is performing. Now think about how this applies to your product or service where you as the founder are saying something about the product. You are telling a story of transformation about the result that somebody got. You're sharing expertise. You're showing who you're friends with. You are showing behind the scenes of what it's like to be in your life. You're congratulating employees. You're doing things that don't look like advertising, but you're paying to have it be shown. This is the kind of content that is going to drive more sales. So now through Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you should be boosting these posts like crazy, increasingly with the objective of conversion, because you're going to have some kind of funnel. Like I showed you, Cocoon saying, oh, normally the price is this, but now if you buy it through, Thanksgiving, the price is this, right? So here's the video we just made, and let's take a look at the stats on it. Twitter's being slow for me today, but this will load some stats. Look, I didn't even shower this morning yet, right? I didn't have a nice script. I didn't have B-roll. I didn't have proper audio. I didn't shoot it on the nice camera equipment I have here. The reason why people aren't using the camera equipment at all, because by the time you have an idea, just pull out your phone and say whatever it is in 15 seconds. And if you didn't say it well, just re-say it again. So look, 74 people, Brent, have already seen what we've had to say. And now people are engaging them. And the ad is not even live yet. The ad's not even kicked on. When the ad kicks on, you'll see these yellow bars down here below the tweet. So what does this tell us, Mr. Brent?
So many things. I mean, I think getting an offer out there quickly is huge. Not taking too much time to create your content, that it's more about the engagement, the story, and putting stuff out there than it is about being perfect. And I also, I mean, a couple of notes I took while you were going through the ad setup, relying on the engines of Twitter, Facebook, and the other platforms to do the heavy lifting in terms of targeting and maybe giving them some clues of who your audience is, but not overcooking with, you know, demographics and being too savvy around those types of things. So I think just getting it out there and doing it really fast. I mean, I'm thinking I need to get in there and start creating some content while we're on today. And the other thing I'd say is, you know, multi-purpose, right? So we're here doing one piece of content, and then you're literally using that, right? You're in an experience, and you're using that to drive your content out to these other social platforms. Dennis, we still got you, man? It's like we might have lost Dennis there for a quick second. All right. Well, looks like Dennis popped off there for a quick second. I'm going to go and check out I'm going to check out our chat. Dennis has officially broke the internet. Our offer must have been so spectacular that that it was too much for Dennis's server to handle. So, yeah, Jan says Facebook and Twitter are being icky today. Let's talk about creating that type of content. So, Jan, man, I definitely am very interested to talk more about that conversation as well. I know it's one thing that the Cloudways Mavericks have been thinking about and working on. If you've been checking out our
Hey, I'm back.
channels, yeah, Dennis, what's up, man?
You want to know something ridiculous? This
What's
MacBook
that?
Pro just died on me. You ever have that happen? The thing just died on me, but here's proof. I'm actually kind of glad this happened. Because I'm
You know what, dude? You're more crisp and smooth on your phone than you were on that fancy MacBook.
Yeah. Well, let me show you. Let's go outside and see the Tucson desert here. Check this out. I'm at this dude ranch, and there's cactuses and horses and other kind of stuff out here. This is a great opportunity if you want to promote some stuff to be able to, like, what do you think is going to be more engaging? Like me in front of a professional studio, which is great. And there's a time and place for that professional studio stuff. Or I'm standing under one of these cacti out here talking about our Black Friday, Cyber Monday special, talking about why I started my business, talking about a new product or feature that I have, talking about anything I want to be able to talk about, right? Talking about why the sun's so hot in Arizona, right? What do you think is going to get more engagement? The walking and talking where you can see the background, where you can see me, you know, I'm racing cars, or I'm in the factory, or I'm speaking on stage, or, you know, whatever it might be. What's going to be more interesting, that or somebody in just one fixed place where they're, you know, it's obvious, like they have the white wall in the background, they're on a Zoom call. That's what you need to do. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
What?
So watch this. I think I can share. Can I share my screen on this thing here?
I don't know. We're gonna find out, Dennis. We're rolling with it live. So I mean, I think you're spot on in terms of a lot of people think, oh, I gotta have this set up, I gotta have lighting, I gotta have this and that. And I also think that we're thinking about video from 5 years ago. We're thinking about content from 5 years ago. And what you're sharing, I think, in kind of challenging today is the status quo that you can produce content faster, easier, cheaper. But the more important part is people engage more with those stories and with that content.
Yeah. So what I can do right now on my phone, because I recorded that video promoting a Black Friday special, where if you go to themasterpresentation.com and use the keyword Brent, you're going to get all of our training and recipes for, instead of $1,500, you're going to get it for $1,000. And I'll do a private little one-on-one call with you just to make sure and diagnose what you have. So, you know, that video that I made, I can now upload. I'm on my phone right now. I can upload that to Facebook. I can upload it to Twitter. I can make it literally a WordPress blog, which is, you know, hosted on Cloudways, and be able to get more traffic. I can SEO for this. I can interview somebody on Zoom. I can
all these things I can do right now on my phone and promote it. And this has been so effective, especially and increasingly in the last couple of years, because people want to see this real cell phone kind of content, right? Look at this. Look at that cactus that's behind me. That thing is so tall. We got to go over and see. I think this cactus is like 15 feet tall. This is insane. But people want to experience what it's like being with you. They want to go on a journey together. They don't want this perfect professional advertising kind of content. And because people have been locked down on these Zoom calls and whatnot, the growth of influencer marketing, the growth of TikTok, the growth of social media has come from people wanting to be able to connect more. So now I'm standing under this cactus. Look at that. And I'm even barefoot. Look, I'm barefoot. I'm not even, like these Zoom calls, like you're supposed to be all it's professional on top, and then below it's, whatever, like your underwear. Like
you took us to the cactus, Dennis. You brought us there. You talked about it. You brought us to the cactus. We got bare feet on here. So one thing that a question I have for you, because I think what you're showing too is that you don't have to have a lot of people involved in your content creation factory. That it can just be you. But I am kind of curious, how are you leveraging team to maybe make this easier? I mean, this sounds pretty easy to me, so I don't know. Maybe we don't need team to do this. But I mean, are you leveraging a team for this?
Well, Brent, you're a polished professional speaker, and you help a lot of agencies and coaches and entrepreneurs be able to scale. For those of you guys where maybe you're not the owner, or maybe you're not as well spoken, or you don't want to press the red button, then do what I do. I just point the camera at other people. And I have associates or other people on the team out there making the content. So my buddy Tommy Mello runs the largest home services business in the United States, basically fixing garage doors and stuff, right? And he's got a bunch of techs in different trucks. You'll see him. He runs A1 Garage. You'll see him wearing the red shirt. You'll see billboards, like whatever city you're in, you'll probably see him because he's a dominant player. And he has these techs that go about collecting, or they're fixing garage doors. They're installing garage doors. They're driving around with these vans that have whatever kind of equipment they have in them. And when they're meeting with customers, when they're done, they'll say, "Hey, Sally, what do you think of your garage door?" And Sally will say, "Oh, wow, it looks so nice, and thank you so much," right? And then that technician, who's not a professional video person, just he installs garage doors and whatever, will say, "Thank you so much, Sally. Would you mind if we just collected a 15-second video for our social media? It would mean so much to me, and my compensation is also tied to that as well. I'd be able to earn a little bit more money." And they almost always say yes. And so now he has deputized a whole crew of people that are otherwise just like installing garage doors to be his content team. And our friend David Solomon, who's the real estate agent, now there could be a ton of videos about him going around Venice and Santa Monica saying, "Hey, here's the cool beachfront house," or "This house is worth $8 million," or "Here's the secret to this was actually went to a house last week, and it's where Sting had his secret little studio in the back, and we went in the studio, and it was really pretty awesome." And I thought, wow, you're just telling the whole story of this particular house, and someone would want to be there. But it could be his agents. He's got listing agents. He's got buyer agents. Everyone has got people on their team. Our buddy Jonathan, who's Pantalis, who's got the chocolate factory, he has all these people that are working in his chocolate factory. So he's having content with them, talking about, here, how, tell us about how we got this vanilla from Madagascar, and what's the story behind it, and how are we sweetening this chocolate here? Oh, here's so-and-so who's worked in the factory for 6 years, and she's got 2 kids, and why is she, what is she, and just asking her like what's going on in her life. So you can have the whole content factory, which I showed on my laptop briefly before it died, was the whole process on how do you get your people to produce content. Your people is in your community, the people that work for you, your customers, all these people to produce content for you. Oh, look, there's a little thing on my phone here. And when they're producing content for you, you then run it into factory. And the factory is where you chop it up into different pieces. Very lightweight editing, lightweight processing, right? Not heavily processed food, but like organic, raw, vegan food, or whatever you want to call it, right? And then we are repurposing. So repurposing, as opposed to content creation, is I'm taking content I've already created, and I'm doing very lightweight edits to have it fit inside Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm running ads against it, running them to landing pages, running them to lead forms where people are, where, you know, it's automatically putting in your information to Twitter, Facebook, and all that. And I've got tracking in place so I can measure exactly how that particular blog post or tweet or Facebook is performing. So for example, we've done some stuff with Cloudways over the last few years, talking about how we use Cloudways for our hosting and why their support's so much better, and why we used to use Amazon and GoDaddy and these other folks and what some of these differences are. Now, am I an expert in hosting? Not really. I mean, I did build the analytics of a search engine 20 years ago, but I'm showing our relationships with Cloudways. You know, the way I heard about Cloudways was, I think Jan Koch told me about that 6 or 7 years ago. And I said, wow, this is really cool. And I met some of their executives. I have a Cloudways shirt, you know, just like you do, Brent. And so when people see that their friends are using Cloudways in different aspects, you know, for example, we have a system that builds hundreds of websites automatically just based on some inputs. So, you know, built some software. I'm a software engineer. Then they're going to see that, hey, we're doing this on Cloudways. And that builds trust for Cloudways. That's content that we made years ago, but we can still use that today. So I would challenge you guys, instead of the whole, oh, Dennis is saying I got to produce all this new content. Can you reuse content that you've already created and then just repurpose it? Maybe it's a blog post and you can repurpose it to Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Maybe it's like this live, like we have on StreamYard, and it's streaming hopefully now to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and whatnot. I can take snippets of that. I can have someone on Fiverr cut out different snippets of that and turn them into ads. So if you guys do that, then you're going to see that it's not a stressful thing for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's about, what do I already have? If I've interviewed other people, if I have a podcast, right? If I'm Brent and you've got some crazy number of people that you've interviewed, right? I could repurpose any of that kind of content and have my community sell for me. So the whole point of word of mouth and social media and, you know, influencers or whatever you want to call that is letting other people do the selling for you. If you have to do the selling, that means something's wrong, right? Now, I made a video just now just to demonstrate how that's possible, but the majority of our sales and those of the people we're working with are when they're just leveraging, you know, the real estate agent is leveraging their customers and their experiences. Our friends who are selling e-commerce, they're interviewing their customers and being able to share that. So I want you guys to think about that. If you do that, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is just another way to generate more sales off of something that's already working for you. Because then you're having a discount, you're having a special, but it's not some cheesy thing where it's only a price thing. It's just a way to reward people who've been loyal to you this whole time. If you've produced a ton of content, let's say, you know, you're Jan, you got a big podcast and all these people in a big list. Now is the time when you can have a special. So amplify what you already have and say, hey, for those of you guys who have been waiting, this is our best deal of the year. We're offering this particular thing, right? And so all it is a little piece of content talking about the special that you have for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but you don't have to create any new content. And so if you do that, the algorithm's going to reward you. Advertising is going to work really well because I'll boost 10 or 20 different posts on TikTok, on Facebook, on Twitter and whatnot. And the ones that are driving the most sales, performing best according to whatever my you know, minimum cost of acquisition or lifetime value or ROAS target is, I'm going to put more money against that, right? So I just spent $1 a day for 7 days promoting something that I made together kind of with Brent. But if it works well and we drive a few sales, I'll put more money on it. And if we got 15 or 20 of these pieces of content from the last 3 or 4 years, then I'm running through my content factory, which are, you know, my content factory, I can hire people on Fiverr to do it. I've got training on it if you guys want that. I can have my own team do it. And if you guys are big enough, you got a team of virtual assistants, great. Have your virtual assistants run your content factory. But the content factory is what generates everything you need to be able to drive sales. It's not software, landing pages. It's not some cool new tool, although there's lots of cool tools. You do that, and then you're going to find that your business is driving sales and leads no matter what kind of product or service you have on autopilot because the factory's operating. And then I can just take pictures in front of cactuses all the time, right? You guys want to see a cactus? Look at this thing. You see these prickly little things on here? I think that would hurt. So
I feel like we're getting into like the nature channel of Dennis Yu, right? He's gonna.
Yeah.
Dude, this is awesome,
real,
man.
right?
I love the the repurposing, getting other people like on Fiverr to help you out with that, and empowering team and customers. I mean, those are huge. I feel like as a business owner, and you look out there and you see all these people active on social media, it's so easy to take all of that weight and put it on your shoulders of like, oh man, I got to create all this content, right? But just that simple tactic of, the team member out visiting a customer to be able to capture that stuff and then throw that into your content factory is absolutely gold.
Yeah. So you guys summarize this whole thing. You got to have a content factory. This is how you're going to drive sales. Honor your relationships. Honor your customers. Collect their feedback. Make them look good. Don't collect testimonials, which are just them talking nicely about you. No one believes in that kind of stuff. Share your knowledge. The reason why Cloudways has been able to grow is that they're not talking about how they have the best hosting. They do have good hosting, or how it's cheaper, but they're sharing so much expertise. And I like Cloudways because I've met with a bunch of their people and they've taken good care of me. Think about the products and services that you use. You do it because the other people have been good to you. You've heard good things from other people that have used those products and services. Are they necessarily the cheapest, or are they necessarily the best? I don't know. Like I bought another Apple MacBook charger thing, and I think there's like 50 other guys that are selling the same thing for slightly cheaper. I'm going to London in 2 days, and I bought a little travel adapter thing. So, because all the plugs are different in these different places, and there's like 100 of them, and I could spend days looking for which one I want, but I chose the one that had the most reviews, that also had reviews from other friends of mine. And that's how I make decisions. And I'm pretty sure that's how you make decisions. If that's how your customers are making decisions, then why don't you leverage your content factory to get that in place? And if you don't have virtual assistants, hire somebody on Fiverr for $30 or $40 going through the process that we taught. You saw my laptop died. Did I let that stop me? No, I freaking got on my cell phone. And here we are together, and I'm sharing the same level of content. There were slides I was going to go through. Didn't go through those slides, did we? But it doesn't matter. It's just as good. So I hope you guys see that the facilitation and creation of content is as simple as being willing to put a process together to let your community collect the content and spending money to promote your community. I'm not spending money only on products. So if you're doing e-com and you're selling a product, and let's say you have great products and talk about the features and how it's on sale, that's great. But what's really going to drive the sales is telling the stories and the transformation about how people went from A to B because they used your product, right? It's always the story that's behind it. So I hope you guys do that. And if you found this helpful, I hope you make a 15-second video about what you learned. Tag me on Twitter or LinkedIn or Instagram. Tag Mr. Brent Weaver on, tag Cloudways so that we see that you guys are cool with this idea and you understand this is what's going to work. The reason why this influencer marketing thing works is because people identify with other people. And this COVID thing has made it so people, look, I'm not political. It's so that people really want to connect with other people. I want you guys to connect with me, connect with Brent, connect with Cloudways. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you found this useful. Hopefully in this overwhelming, mess of all these things, like maybe you didn't properly prepare for your Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Q4 stuff. Maybe you're a little behind on the sales. I'm hoping this gives you a big shortcut and you realize, you know what? I had the content all along. I had the customers all along. I just didn't realize I could repurpose stuff. I thought I had to have a professional videographer. I thought I had to do this webinar. I thought it had to be perfect. I thought I have to run it through a video editor. No, I'm literally making content, and we have thousands of people in our community that are making content just like this, and it's driving sales.
Dennis, you're a legend for a reason, my man.
Look, I'm barefoot.
You're barefoot. You're barefoot. You just dropped knowledge bombs on us for coming up on an hour, and you're barefoot. You're in the middle of a desert. You did not let any of this stuff stop you or slow you down. You dropped lots of gold for our audience. And I think in the process of some of the internet breaking on us, you proved probably one of the most valuable points, that it's about the knowledge and the insights that are already in your head. And it's about your personal story and your personal journey through that process. And if you can just show up and be super authentic and engaging in that story, right? I think you're gonna attract people. I think there's a lot of people that were loving the content today, and they were giving comments of, how can we use this for our own business, and how can we take our own settings and make that more apparent, and be more storytellers around what's actually going on for us versus some kind of scripted or prepared or really polished piece of content.
Let me ask you, Brent. So let's say, in your younger days where maybe you weren't quite as mature, you did some things in high school and college that were kind of crazy, right? Well, you guys maybe went out last weekend, got a little crazy, went to Las Vegas where I have a house. And you always
no idea what you're talking about, Dennis. I'm not,
Well, you've been around friends where, they got a little crazy, but there's always a story. It's always the stories that if you think about those moments in your life that you actually remember, it's those things like, dude, you wouldn't believe when Brent and I were on this webinar and, my laptop died, and I'm out in the desert, making stuff with cacti. It's always the average American or person in the world is exposed to 5,000 ad messages per day. And you don't remember any of them, do you? But the things you remember are the stories. So you could even say like, wow, I wonder if Dennis intentionally had his laptop die so he could move to his phone. No, I didn't. Or like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is one of the best marketers on the planet. Remember he did that thing with the Tesla truck and they put the bowling ball through or whatever it is and they broke the window. You remember that?
They actually broke the window, and I'm sure their view count went up dramatically with that incident.
And I think they did that intentionally. I don't think Elon Musk had this malfunction occur on stage. I think he intentionally had that happen because he wanted the media to talk about him, right? Like, oh my goodness, they said the windows were bulletproof or whatever, yet it shattered when they threw the ball at the thing, this big steel ball or whatever. I think it was intentional because it's a story. And if you can tell a story, something that's interesting that gets people's attention, then that's what's going to, that's how you're going to stand out from all the other noise and other nonsense out there. I'm not saying go fake some sort of thing that happened, but find the imperfections and the interesting things that happen are the things that people want to hear because people are along the journey with you. They want to do this experience. So I want you guys to think about what kinds of stories that are interesting about you, and they don't have to do with your product or service. Do that. And I think you're going to find, even though it's weird, but if I want to sell more of my product and service, I just keep talking about how my product and service is better and cheaper and how there's a sale going on. You can do some of that, but I'm challenging you to show the human side of you and your customers and your employees and boost it, repurpose it, run it through the content factory. So it's not just the production of the content, but you got to push it out there on these other channels and run ads against it. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, like thousands of other people, what that's going to do to your sales. And you're going to say, wow, people buy from people. They don't really buy because of how professional my video is. They don't buy because, Dennis isn't wearing professional clothes right now. No, I promise you, try that. It doesn't matter if you're professional services, you're selling makeup in a jar, whatever it is. I want you guys to try it out and then let Brent and I and our Cloudways friends know how that's working for you. So awesome spending time with you. Thank you so much, Brent, too, for hosting it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, you got time for one question before we let you off the hook?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's take some questions.
All right. We got one from Saad here. You have a thriving community who follows you, and there are many like Jan Koch who consider you as a mentor. How has it actually helped you as a business owner? What's your personal branding philosophy?
Your personal brand is what other people have to say about you. And I'm proud and honored to be able to work with Muhammad, for example, right? I've known Muhammad for, I want to say, is it 7 years? It's a long time. And I could say whatever, right? I could give you the best knowledge, or I could deliver the best product, and let's say it's amazing or whatever it is, but it means nothing unless there's community that's behind it. And because of Muhammad and I have worked together for a number of years on different kinds of content, that makes, I didn't know about Cloudways, or because of Jan and Muhammad. And because these other people are associated with Cloudways, I thought, oh, well, there's all these other random hosting companies, but because these guys are using Cloudways and I'm intellectually lazy, I'm going to go with what my friends are doing because these guys I trust. I'm going to go along with that. And so that is how people are making decisions. In economics, I have a finance degree from Southern Methodist University and an economics degree from the London School of Economics. You learn in economics there's something called rational ignorance. People make decisions intentionally based on imperfect information because they don't have time to read every single review and do all. They're just like, okay, Jan and Muhammad are working with Cloudways. and getting their stuff hosted there. Maybe it costs a little bit more than a couple of these other places, but I'm going to do that. Right. And by the way, if our Cloudways friends are watching, which I think they are, you can copy what I just said and turn that into a little 15-second snippet or 30-second snippet that you boost out there, that you run, you put it on a blog post, and you target all of my followers. And that now, because there might only be a few people watching the live stream right now, but if you take that moment in time, that story that I just told, that's something that you can use over and over and over again. And because I speak in the digital marketer community, as you guys know, for those of you, that are agencies or do digital marketing professionally, or, like social media marketing world, I speak there. So if you do social media marketing professionally, you see my training there. And then Jan and Mohammed, let's say, are targeting, targeting those communities using the things where the content I've said. Now they're able to leverage my basic endorsement, if you will, to all the places that I'm already known. So that's really what influencer marketing is. So maybe Mohammed asked that question to get me to say what I just said there. But think about how many times you've had a positive mention about you or your company, and are you leveraging that? If you do that, game over for you and your sales. That one thing is all you really need.
More tactical question on this one, Dennis. Daily or lifetime budget, which one's more cost effective?
Daily budget. I like to run initial content for $1 a day or even $10 a day, driving to conversion for a week. So I can see what's going on. I don't like to do a lifetime budget unless it is an event like we're selling tickets for the Golden State Warriors or WrestleMania or that kind of thing, because it doesn't. I want the algorithm to pace through the budget. I want to be able to cut it off when I want. Like a lifetime budget, you're forcing the algorithm to try to figure out how to spend that money per, over the next week or whatever it is. Like everything is per day. And if it keeps working, I'll put more money on it. But I'll say any new content, I'll run $1 a day for 7 days. I might put, 10 or 15 things out at the same time. And the winners, I'll put $10 a day and run it for another 30 days. And if that works, I'll put, $30 a day or $100 a day and let it run for forever. So when things are running forever, which is where you want to go. So whoever asked that question, smart question, your best content, you're going to put in what we call your greatest hits. So that's your library of content that's evergreen, meaning it continues to run forever. And it's running it, $10 a day, $50 a day, whatever it is. Your goal for marketing, for your content factory, is you want to get stuff running continuously. A lifetime budget means that there's going to be an expiration. And you could do a lifetime budget or have an end date just because you have boundaries on testing. So campaigns don't just go out of whack. And you can do this on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, your ad system, Google. But your goal is to get out of this testing and learning phase and put your ads into these ad sets and campaigns that run ongoing and forever. So if you're doing things right and you're starting to scale, 80% of your ad spend should be spent on campaigns that have passed, that are not in the learning phase, right? And that way it's smart. That way the system knows what's working. But if your campaigns are learning limited, if the majority of your spend is through campaigns that are still learning, especially on Facebook, you're doing something wrong, right? Because you got to find a winner. And once you find that winner, let it run forever. So I hope that helps you.
Last question here from it was from earlier, but from Jan on the $1 a day advertising on 3x3 grid videos. Any insights there?
Yeah, Jan, thank you so much. And I know Jan is in Europe, so it is maybe, what time is it? Like 7 or 8 p.m. where you are? So if we're collecting all these 1-minute videos, collecting all these different stories, we're not just putting it out there willy-nilly. We're stacking it into the 3 stages of the funnel. Awareness, consideration, conversion, which we also call why, how, and what, which is the same thing as, top, middle, bottom of the funnel. So when you have these different stages, take your content, and it's kind of like bingo or Legos or whatever it is. So why content, top of funnel content is about someone's mission, their story, what they believe in. So that's top of funnel. So that's the top of the grid. The middle of the funnel, you're sharing knowledge. You are helping people understand how to do something. Maybe it's like a recipe, 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you, set up a website? How do you set up a virtual summit, which is what Jan's got a ton of content. That's where you're going to spend most of the time, because that's the meat. If you think of a hamburger, bun, meat, bun. That's the meat here. That showing how to do something, adding value, entertaining, educating. That's going to be really where the power is. Then in the bottom, is your call to action. The what, which is buy my thing, or it's on sale, or use the coupon code Brent at themasterpresentation.com to get all of our recipes on how we do digital marketing. It's like having Dennis's brain at your access, right? But use the code Brent to get $500 off. So that's an example of what content. So think about content that you're stacking and why, how, and what. Take the top 3 pieces for each of these micro snippets, ideally 3 videos, but it could be, images, it could be like whatever. And so now you got a 3x3 grid. You have 3 plus 3 plus 3, the top 3, why, how, and what, right? The top 3 in the top, middle, and bottom of the funnel, that is your grid. Now, if you build these things, but you don't run ads against it, unless you've got a big audience, no one's going to see it. So you're going to boost it for $1 a day. $1 a day allows people to see each piece of content. Now, it used to be, we taught 5 or 6 years ago, that you run $1 a day and do remarketing. So anyone who saw any one of the top level videos, I'm going to remarket down to the second level. And I'm going to remarket from the second level down to the third level, because I can use video view remarketing audiences on Twitter and TikTok and Facebook and whatnot. But now what we found is the system is so smart at optimizing, I don't even have to use that remarketing. I mean, you can. I would advise you still setting up remarketing and Google Tag Manager and all that, but put $1 a day or even $5 or $10 a day against each of these top videos. If you have your top 9 videos, the top 3 of each stage in the funnel, you could put $10 a day against each of these videos, because you're bootstrapping. The revenue that you're making, the profits you're generating, will fund more ad spend. So you're not just spending money according to a budget, which is wasting money, but the more profit these winners produce, the more you're able to put more money back into the machine. So you're not just putting anything into the 3x3, you're testing stuff out there. You're letting them compete inside ad groups. So in that Twitter ad that we made together, I know I selected only 1 tweet, but I could select 5 or 6 different tweets, and whatever wins, it'll never be the one you think. Whatever wins, I'm going to choose, just like in the singing competitions, all these people are singing and then somebody gets voted to the top. The one that wins, letting the algorithm be the tester of the audience of, which ones are better, you're going to put more money on those. And when that's working well, you're going to put that and promote it to your very best, like Hall of Fame, greatest hits, 3x3 grid, which are those very top that are continuing to run forever. So Jan, that's a good question. You'll see people that are really smart marketers that are driving a lot of sales. They're not constantly coming up with new stuff. I've seen people come up with, some of my friends that are really successful. They'll have hundreds of campaigns, but it's always the 1 or 2. That 1 or 2 that's just driving all the sales, and then all the money is just still running. Even if they did nothing, these people would keep making money because they have their winners that are continuing to produce. So what you're trying to do is get your campaigns to a stage where you have a few winners. But ironically, the best way to get winners is you got to test, right? You can't just take your very first song. Imagine, Brent, you and I, we started a rock band, and we call it, Brent and Dennis's Excellent Adventure. Well, our first song.
I might hold you to this, Dennis.
I'm happy to. I mean, we can auto-tune our stuff and make it sound good. I play the guitar not very well, but our first song together is going to be our very best song because it's our only song. But once we have 15 or 20 or 30 songs out there, then our very best become our greatest hits, and that's the way to think about it. If you don't have many songs out there, by definition, your first 3 songs are your very best 3 songs you've ever made, right? Because they're your only 3 songs. You enter a race with 3 people, and you finish third, which is dead last, you can say, I still finished third. Yeah, well, you need more. You need more contestants, right? More videos, more content. You have real winners, okay?
That's awesome, man. I love that answer. You're dropping the knowledge bombs on us today. Dennis, we got to start heading towards the end here today. And I love that you told viewers how they can get the Content Factory or get some more insights from you. Where are some places that people should follow you if they want to check out more?
Use your favorite network. I used to work at Yahoo, and people would say, go Google that. And I said, well, what company do you work at? That's 20 years ago. But if you like LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or wherever you are, reach out to me. I want to hear what you're doing. I'm hoping you're motivated by what Brent and I and the Cloudways team is sharing. I want to see you grow. If you have questions, hit me up, whatever your favorite network is. Just don't friend me on Facebook, please. I'm at the 5,000 limit.
All right, so follow Dennis on every platform except for friending on Facebook, but I'm sure we can fan your business profile page and all that stuff. Dennis, I just saw a comment, one of the most fun talks this week. Thanks for rolling with the internet ups and downs with us today, showing us how it's done live on today's session. unscripted. You just did what you believe, and I think that's very apparent. You're so authentic, and I think a lot of people got some knowledge bombs. Muhammad Saad said, knowledge bombs, loving it. I think you're going to get a lot of likes and love on this content today. So, Dennis, thank you so much for stopping by the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Cloudways Prepathon.
Thank you, Brent, and thank you, everybody. I want you guys to drive some sales, and then let me know how you're doing. See you guys.
Awesome. Well, that's what today is all about, and that's what all week has been all about, is helping you all succeed with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Prepathon. Thanks to all of our amazing speakers, hosts, and attendees. This was our first foray into hosting an online event, and we have been very humbled by the response. So expect bigger events coming next year, and also be on the lookout for the Cloudways Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal, which is going live next week. So if you're interested to learn more about that, keep on the lookout on all of our social channels here at Cloudways, as well as our email. We're going to be posting all that to our channels here shortly. Shout outs to Valentin Radu, Adam Culp, Brendan Tully, Paul Boag, and a bunch of our other guests and speakers and customers that we had on all week. Thank you so much for participating in the Cloudways Prepathon. You were invaluable to this experience and dropping so much knowledge on so many people this last week. And again, Dennis, man, thanks for hanging out with us from the desert and showing us those cactus today. We really enjoyed it today. I think you brought a lot of smiles to a lot of people, and I got a ton of notes myself, man. So I'm ready to hit up my own content factory. Thank you very much today. So Dennis, thanks again for being here, man. That is it for our program today.